Mr. Karthik Ramasubramanian, from the first batch of theoretical computer science, is a data enthusiast who, in his words, loves data more than anything else. He has diverse experience in the retail and e-commerce sector and is currently working as a business analyst with Snapdeal. Mr. Karthik, along with third-year students of theoretical computer science, Kavya, Lokesh, Saravnan and Sri Prasanna, will now present a session on the PSG graph network. Sir, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Mohan sir.
Namaskar.
So, I always feel pretty enthusiastic, happy about standing on this stage. One of my favorite conference halls, where I've been in a lot of workshop conferences on the other side of the stage and asking a lot of questions. So this time the purpose is different. So far the discussions which we had, Abhishek very brilliantly placed everything into a right tone, why we are here, what we want to do, and the objectives are very clear. So continuing on the same thought, we thought we'll have a demonstration. So people have this ability to talk a lot and they love talking, right? So I would say I want to show you something. So enough of talking. I know you guys are waiting for these guys have done something, but what we have done in just 1 month is what we're going to present today in front of you. So before I start, can all 4 of you come on the stage? Yeah, don't be tense, Sarvana. We'll have enough time to show the demonstration. Nobody will get the precedence over our project. That is the Mr. Nightingale. Okay, so Lokesh is missing. He's supposed to be behind the cameras. Okay, alright. So before he joins in, so Sarvana, Kavya and Sri Prasanna, so all 3 of them are pretty tense. I told them that by the end of this program, this internship program, you guys are gonna be the rock star of PSG Tech. So that rock star is... so it's not for being with us and doing that project for 1 month. They have done something very fantastic and we're gonna show that and you'll be kind of awestruck whether something of this sort is possible in one month. And it's not going to stop here. So what we have started has to grow to the next level, and that next level is something which we're going to show today in front of you. So once again, a fantastic job in terms of what we have done. They'll be back again in a while. There'll be a small demonstration also of what we have done. So before that, a little bit of context setting I'll do, and followed by a small demonstration on what we have just started and where we want to get this to. Alright? So, there are obviously a lot of things on which a person who works in data science can talk about. You start from one industry and you will end up speaking for so many industries with the set of algorithms, models you have, even for an entire day, and you will not be exhausted. That's the richness this domain has. So as Abhishek was rightly pointing out, the algorithms, these are not changing. For many years, there are 10 algorithms or there are 20 algorithms. Till date, there are those 10 and 20 algorithms. What really is changing is businesses, the time is changing. There are a lot many innovative ideas around different industry problems. So one industry might have 10 problems, another industry might have another 20 problems, and so on. So the limit is your imagination. Where do you really see a potential to apply these 10 to 20 algorithms? Alright, and one more thing before I could start with the idea. There are a very diverse group sitting out here. some might be very comfortable in the word algorithm, data structures, and they might be feeling very happy about it. Obviously, the theoretical computer science. They have been hearing all that from the first day. The software engineering folks, I know they hate that to the core. So they love hearing Java, HTML, C#, and so on. I'm pretty bad in all of these. So where are we going really? Narayan sir has a vision. He will talk about that in his own words. But what I see as these three courses in the department are pretty strong three pillars of the industry. One offering you, so I personally have a very good attachment to the models, algorithms, and these kind of subjects. But we guys, the one thing which we could do best is speaking. We can tell you a lot of stories by looking at something, and you will all be engaged and happy to hear about it. But what I really want to do and I love to do is, can somebody produce and transform this into a usable product? That's where the software geeks comes in. And we are pretty bad at it. We can't do it. We are totally away, or maybe very, very far away from understanding what really that world is. So if we are able to bring this synergy together, data science, TCS, software engineering, and work together as one single batch rather than classes, you will not believe where we will end up in the long term of things. And I urge Natarajan sir here also that going forward, if the packages can be designed in a way that it's not 3 group members from one single course, but 3 group members from data science, TCS, as well as software engineering. And you will be surprised, sir. I am 100% sure you will be surprised to see the outputs. So, that's about why all of you are sitting here from all these 3 courses. So don't feel like alienated if you are hearing a lot of algorithms and models. Maths is important, and you are part of the mathematics department. So being software engineer or software system guys, you don't have any liberty to say, I don't like maths. Everything fundamentally starts from there. And you will realize soon in your life going forward. So what did we try in this 1 month period? So we had this discussion yesterday also. The data science are in many flavors. Certain data science problems are pretty well defined, and all people are trying is to apply some algorithms on top of it. But in many industries, the problems are not yet defined properly till this point. So the problems are evolving. People are finding out what problem to solve. So far, the talk has been, the problem is given, solve this. Now the talk is, can you identify the problem? And those are the skill set which is pretty much in demand in the data science domain. Try to identify the problem in the given domain. So this particular problem, when we started, our focus was particularly in the HR industry, the human resource industry, where we wanted to see if companies, the job aspirants, right, and the academia, can they be benefited by a knowledge source which tells students, let's say, what skills do they require really to excel in their domain, or if the company is looking for certain particular skill sets, what exactly is the training materials do the companies need to train these guys to get that requirement into their talent pool, and so on. So this graph network which we try to create is done keeping in mind centrally placed is the member. Let's say that can be a student, or that can be a person who is working in industry already, and around this particular member we have his academic skills, his schools and whatever courses he went through, the companies he has worked so far, right, knowledge he possesses right now, and obviously all that skill he has gained throughout the college and the school days. Before we could see that final positioning of this entire idea, there is this small distinction which I want to make before that comes up. So many of you guys must be familiar with this world of storing data in tables, rows and columns, right? The relational database management system. And we are very comfortable with it. Why? Because it has a structure. And structure is always most welcomed part of it. And in our life also, we always strive towards having a very neat and good-looking things, right? So, moving from this RDBMS structure to a world where things are unstructured and as well as changing very fast. My business has established a good schema of these data which I am collecting from my various business applications and storing it somewhere, right? And it's strict. The schema cannot be changed if it is designed once. It has to stay for at least few many years before you start to see that business is changing. We need to change the schema and suitably change the application as well. So what if I'm telling you, if you are, let's say, the owner of your business, and I'll tell you, you come anytime to me, there is no restriction on you to depend on the database schema to change your application. I'm telling you, you can come to me anytime you want something new to be added to this table, I'll be able to do that pretty easily. You want to redefine your problem statements on which your application is built, I can change the database underlying to it very easily without even affecting the business normal operations. So, next slide. That's where we are moving in the industry from the RDBMS world to something which we are calling nowadays NoSQL, right? So, there is no more need for storing data in a structured format. It can be as unstructured as possible and you can still represent that into some understandable and a manageable system like the RDBMS has evolved. So that's where we are bringing in this change. There has been a lot of deep research and a lot of technologies has already in the market which we call NoSQL, and in the world of Hadoop and big data you might start to hear the databases like HBase, Cassandra and many more on that line. But what is really driving the change is something that on the right hand side, graphs. And that's the most easiest to represent your data and at the same time the most powerful of all the data structures. So no matter how well designed your RDBMS tables and schemas are, end of the day it has that restriction of stringent processes, stringent constraints, and you cannot avoid that. But there in the graph data structure things are agile. Change it anytime you want and nothing big as an impact is going to happen on your business. So this is the first thought process which came to our mind when we thought of defining a problem statement, and on top of it use something which is going to stay from here on for the next 5 years. So if I'm starting something today which is already being existing for many decades, that's going to die out maybe in a year or so. But if I'm going to start something which has not yet even started to evolve, which is going to come up in the next 5 years, that's when you say I'm ahead of time. That's what Google did, that's what Facebook did, that's what the big companies like LinkedIn did. Right? So that's